Hey everybody, this is Scott. Hope you're all having a great summer. It has been out of control for me. It seems like it just started and it is almost over. From Uganda to Summer Impact to summer camp, this summer has just flown by. It's been a great summer though. We've seen God do a lot of amazing things, and I'm excited about the starting places that He has built in some of these students' lives. And I'm excited about the fall and what God has for us. This is our July staff meeting. Obviously, with everybody traveling, it's been difficult for us all to get together. This is me talking to you guys. In this email, you should have gotten a little bullet points of upcoming events. And then also, if anything we cover here, you have questions about, concerns about, comments about, email them to me, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. I will be going on vacation here this Thursday, and I will be off until Tuesday. And so I won't be in the office. I will be away, but yeah, we're not going anywhere, but we are going somewhere. So figure that one out. No, we're just taking some time away from the church and just kind of be able to hang out as a family and go to the zoo and do that type of stuff. So it'll be a good time, just kind of recharge the batteries, hang out with the fam. But today, before we get started, I want to talk to you guys a little bit about dreaming. Sometimes we get so much in a routine of everyday life and going through the motions that we forget to dream. We forget to have this vision that's bigger than ourselves of what God can do. Sometimes we get so used to seeing the same results over and over and over again that we forget there can actually be more. And I want to read you something about the company Apple, Steve Jobs, something that they do quite often. Apple is an amazing company. They produce amazing products. They do an amazing job at marketing. Some things aren't so great about Apple. Some things are pretty great about Apple. But one thing they definitely do is they dream, and they constantly change. They don't take status quo and say, it's good enough, or we've done it this way now for this many years. This is what we're going to do from now on. They are constantly changing and adjusting. And so I'll read you something about Apple real quick, and then we'll connect these dots a little bit. No other company reimagines the fundamental parts of its business as frequently and as with much gusto as Apple does. Over its history, Apple has adopted new operating systems and underlying chip architectural several times, decisions that rendered its installed base instantly obsolete. So they were actually creating something that made what they already created obsolete. They didn't care about their past. They didn't care what they had done. They wanted us to improve on it. Jobs killed the floppy disk in the iMac, and he claimed the optical drives were on their way out with the MacBook Air. Now, with the company's embrace of touchscreens, Apple seems to be gunning for the mouse, a technology that it helped bring into wide use in the 1980s. Apple's willingness to abandon the past Apple has shown a willingness to abandon the past to make products better. So here's Apple. They have operating systems that are working fine, that they totally make obsolete with new operating systems. Here that they created the mouse. They actually really they create the mouse. They made the mouse very useful in the 1980s. And now with touchscreens, they're kind of getting rid of the mouse. They're not worried about their past. They embrace the past and what they've done in the past, but they're constantly looking towards the future. They're constantly dreaming about what could be and how they can make things better and what could they do to make their product more desirable. Sometimes in the church, we get so stuck in what we've always done, and that we forget to dream. And three points here before we move on is this. We don't need to forget about the past. We need to honor the past. We don't need to live in it. We need to honor the past and what God has done in the past. We don't need to live in it. Too many times we get that same mentality in our own personal walks with Christ. We remember these moments with God and this time with God, and it was so powerful and it was awesome, but we try to live out that past moment with God when really once that moment is gone, it is gone. And there's no more going back to it. There's no more reliving it. That moment, though it was powerful and though God changed your life, that moment is no longer. It is in the past. We remember it, we honor it, but still there's more in the future. And I truly believe this, that the best days are still yet to come. And when I leave here someday, the best days will still be yet to come for this student ministry and for this church, because as long as there are lost souls in this community, hurting teenagers that need the love of Jesus, then there are still dreams to be dreamt, things to be accomplished, and ways to do things different and better. So number one, we need to honor the past not living. Number two, we need to believe the best is yet to come. Your walk with Christ needs to be better today than it was last year. Your walk with Christ needs to be better next year than it is today. We need to constantly be growing and constantly be understanding that life is difficult, and though tough times may come, the best is still yet to come, because we all still have the promise of heaven because we know Christ. We've accepted him. So we have that promise of the best yet to come. We need that same mentality when it comes to our ministries. And the best is still yet to come in the student ministry. And I believe with all of my heart, number three, we need to spend time with the dream giver. It's really easy for us to look at other ministries and look at other stuff and go on the internet and steal ideas or look at ideas and go, oh, that's a dream, I want to do this. And that's fine. We need to learn from each other and learn from what people are doing. But true dreams come from God. We need to spend time with God. We need to spend time in prayer, spend time reading his word, spend time just talking to him and listening to him. When we do that, we'll begin to dream God dreams. We'll begin to dream God-sized dreams that are not about us, that's going to stretch us past our comfort zones, but into a place where God can use us to change people's lives. It is time for us to spend time with the dream giver. Mark 16, verses 14 through 16 says this: Later Jesus appeared to the 11 as they were eating. He rebuked them for their lack of faith and their stubborn refusal to believe those who had seen him after he had risen. He said to them, Go into all the world and preach the good news to all creation. Whoever believes and is baptized will be saved, but whoever does not believe will be condemned. Those words are still true for us today. We're to go into all the world and preach the good news. But sometimes I feel like our faith is so small. We've seen disappointments. We've seen things that didn't happen when we wanted to happen, and our faith begins to get smaller and smaller and smaller. We need to have bigger faith. We need to have bigger faith for God to do miracles in our lives, miracles in our students' lives. What would it be like if actually somebody came to our student ministry, came to 212, they needed a miracle from God, and instead of us just praying, God, be with them, comfort them, we said, God, heal them, God, touch them, and God did it. How amazing would that be? What kind of fire would that light inside of us? What if when we're praying for people to get saved, we actually now go and be his hands extended and talk to people about Jesus, and they find Christ? That would light a fire inside of us that would change us forever. It's time for us to activate our faith and begin to move out. In our own personal lives, we need to be trying to reach people that do not know God. Heaven is real and hell is real. It is our job to be ambassadors of Christ and tell people